Well, hello, this is Karin Zoe Lee, and you're listening to Lotus Moon Productions. Welcome to the Wrestling Rants Project. Whatever the promotion, we're here to learn and discuss. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 45 minutes of wrestling discussion with your host, Shugo Hanasaki.
Welcome back to the prediction side of LMP Wrestling, aka Wrestling Rants. Today we are predicting AEW All Out. I can't wait to get into things, and here to help me today is my partner in crime, back once again to help me predict All Out and AEW Extravaganza. How's it going today?
Not too shabby. I quite enjoyed Dynamite. It was a good show all around.
Yeah, it really was. The final match there with the Lucha Brothers, the Jurassic Express versus the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks is really, really good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Sting and CM Punk and Darby Allin. It kicked off with FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. Penelope Ford. Was it Penelope Ford and Tay Conti that had that match?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a pretty good match themselves as well. And of course, before we dive into predictions, one match was canceled for All Out, and that was Andrade, El Idolo, versus Pac. And because of traveling issues, Pac couldn't make it to the U.S. for some unknown reason. So that match has been called off. So there's a discussion to be had there near the end of the show. So make sure you stick around for that. But let's just dive into things. We're gonna work our way up from the pre-show all the way up to our championship matches being at the last. So if you want to get to the championship match section of the podcast, just skip to the end. Or, half to the end. Anyway, we're getting to the buy-in. And the buy-in was originally going to be the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal match. But that was moved to the main show because of the cancellation of Andrade versus Pac. So to replace it, we have a 10-man tag team match, which I actually thought they would blow off on Rampage. I really did, with what we were just talking about with the Best Friends, Jurassic Express. Earlier in the night on Dynamite, we had Orange Cassidy involved in there. We had Best Friends. We had Jurassic Express. We had the HFO, Matt Hardy, Private Party, TH2, The Blade. They're all working for Matt Hardy, except for the Best Friends and Jurassic Express. But they all came out. Jurassic beat down on Dynamite. So instead of blowing off that on Rampage, we have it on the pre-show, which is good. There's a 10-man tag team match there. You have the Best Friends and Jurassic Express, who are incredible at high-flying stuff, and then you have the HFO, which consists of Matt Hardy, which is good technical wrestling, and then you have the crazy two tag teams of Private Party and TH2. So that will be an excellent match to start things off, to start the night off. Who do you got, though? Best Friends and Jurassic Express or the HFO?
I'm gonna pick Best Friends and Jurassic Express. I just think they're due for some good wins. Not that they haven't been already, but I just think in this feud that to me makes the most sense.
Well, good. I'm glad you picked them because we're off to a good start with having different results. I think the HFO is going to win. My heart says Best Friends and Jurassic Express, but as we have learned on predictions, never go with your heart. And the reason why, though, booking-wise, is the HFO needs to win. They need to be more established. Matt Hardy collecting all of these people, paying all these people, whether it be the Blade and the Butcher and the Blade. Butcher and the Blade, yeah. Whether it be the Butcher and the Blade, whether it be Private Party, whether it be the Hybrid, too. Matt Hardy is, he's got all these people on his payroll, essentially. So we need to have that get more cemented. So what better way to cement that than taking, them beating up Best Friends and Jurassic Express and then also extending that feud into further shows. So that's my logic behind it. But I can totally see where you're coming from with Best Friends and Jurassic Express. So, so 1-1. That's it. HFO for me and Jurassic Express for you.
Yep.
All right. Next up, moving on to the main card, and honestly, this feud has been a little bit of a dud for me, and it's been a little bit of a dud for you, and according to the internet, it's been a little bit of a dud for the majority of people, and that is QT Marshall versus Paul White, and it's not even Paul White, aka the old Big Show. it's QT Marshall's delivery. I'm not sure what it is, and maybe, you know, in the next 6 months to a year, he'll find his footing, he'll find his place, he'll find his character. But right now, it's just not coming across the TV screen. With all due respect to QT Marshall, I'm not getting it. And having this match end with just Paul White and QT Marshall moving on to something else would be the best thing.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's not that QT isn't a good wrestler, because he is. It's just I don't know. I'm not invested in this. Even when it was him and Cody. Yeah. I just wasn't, and I you know, I've always liked Cody. He's a good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler, and QT Marshall is certainly by no means a bad wrestler. He's a very good wrestler as well. I just couldn't get invested in it.
Yeah, there's something about there's just. I mean, who am I to say, right? You know, if, let's say QT Marshall just decided to tune into Lotus River Productions and heard me speaking right now. I'm not trying to. It's just not connecting with me. It's nothing against him or his wrestling, or it's just, there's something lacking there for me as a viewer. That's it. That's all there is. And I just can't get behind QT Marshall. And with I did not see the Bullet Club. The Gun, same diff, same thing. The Gun Club, Bullet Club. Jeez, next time we're gonna have like the Machine Club. Well, we already had the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, so I mean, a lot of gun references in wrestling. Jeez. But anyway, we had the Gun Club go heel and beat up Big Show with a chair. So I imagine there might be a little bit of mentions of that on Rampage on Friday, but I do think Paul White will beat QT Marshall here, and hopefully they'll just end it, and then maybe Paul White will go into a feud with oh my gosh, Gun Club, Billy Gunn. Maybe. They've known each other for decades, and they're both huge. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
And if the old wrestling trope is to be believed, Paul White got the crap beat out of him, and so he's probably gonna win. That's the old trope. Like, how many times before a pay-per-view has someone got just absolutely destroyed and then won?
Yeah, well, we have a good conversation about that, though, near the end of the show with the championship matches on how AEW ended.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how that's going to work. So, I mean, AEW knows that, though. That's the classic WWE booking. I don't know what to think with AEW when it comes to that.
AEW's done a lot of that stuff, too. Like, you set up the table, you go through the table. Sometimes they don't do that, but more often than not, you see all those little things where if they get beat up, they win the next time, and if they...
It's mostly WWE, though.
Yeah,
AEW has been very chaotic with it. AEW has been very chaotic with it. They book towards the story. They book towards what makes sense, what works. So if they have a feud in mind with QT Marshall and Paul White going forward, and QT Marshall gets this win because of assistance of the Gun Club, and it continues to go off from there, and there's a direction, and it's entertaining, I'm all for it. Just like, and I keep going back to this. Back when Kenny Omega and Adam Page were given the tag team titles, I thought it was a really terrible idea because back then I was conditioned for, oh my god, they just gave two big solo stars titles. This is going to be awful. It turned out to be one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
Right. And they also gave one of the best matches in AEW history, even though it's only been around for almost 3 years. They still had that awesome match with the Young Bucks at Revolution. So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to sit here and rant because this is not wrestling rants. This is predictions. So let's just clean, cut, and dry. Let's move on. Although there is some talking with the next matchup is CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Now, obviously, I think CM Punk's going to win. I believe you think CM Punk is going to win.
I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that CM Punk is going to win.
Yes. Or somehow, I do not see Darby Allin beating CM Punk here clean whatsoever. None. The only thing is, though, this is two faces going into this. And CM Punk is the dominant face. He's not going to go in there and turn a heel.
Yeah.
I think if CM Punk and Darby Allin are either going to have a really good match where Darby Allin is unaffected and it goes back and forth and it looks like both guys could win, or Darby Allin and Sting are going to go heel. And then they're going to cost CM Punk his first match in. That's the only way you're going gonna get around that is because of Sting. The legendary Sting goes heel with Darby Allin on CM Punk in his hometown.
I have a bit of a twist on that I thought of. Darby Allin goes heel to win,
but Sting doesn't.
And Sting doesn't, and then Sting and Darby Allin have a feud.
But then CM Punk still is missing out. He needs to get his comeuppance against Darby Allin for losing. So, and I mean, and Sting joining CM Punk wouldn't work. It's just it's two legends. it's two big names. They don't need to help each other. So Sting helping Darby Allin is the best way to go. But yeah. Anyway, so we're both saying CM Punk unless something crazy happens with Darby Allin, or this is where you have a case where it ends in shenanigans or DQ or something to make it look that where both people look incredibly strong. I don't know. They beat each other till it gets a DQ. I don't know.
Oh, we're forgetting about those new people that said they were going to ruin the match. What were the
2.0 and Daniel Garcia. I mean, former Everrise, I believe, in NXT. But yeah, who knows? They could come in and cost that match. It could end in DQ.
Yeah.
So this is where the DQ would be applicable. Take notes, WWE. Anyway, moving on. Jon Moxley versus New Japan's Satoshi Kojima. Now, the rumors were it was supposed to be Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IWGP US Championship, but Hiroshi couldn't get over to the US, I believe, in time or something. Travel arrangements, pandemic nonsense. I think that was the rumor. But we've seen Satoshi Kojima versus Jon Moxley before. He fought Jon Moxley for the U.S. Championship a couple months ago, I think it was, or a month ago on Fyter Fest or something over the summer. Anyway, I can't see Jon Moxley losing this match. I think this is just a match to get him to have another win, to make him more dominant, to keep him relevant.
Keep him going.
Yeah, keep him going, keep him relevant. And I think we are going to see the U.S. Championship, the IWGP one. I think we're going to see that back on Dynamite at some point, because New Japan Strong is becoming a big thing, and Will Ospreay has just come back, and there's a lot of
cross promotion.
Yeah, well, there's 4 promotions working with AEW. It's insane. So, 4, right? NWA, AAA, New Japan, and Impact. Yeah, 4. I'm surprised they haven't tackled Ring of Honor yet. But anyway,
I'm sure there's something in the works. Knowing Tony Khan.
Do you see Satoshi winning, or do you?
I don't. I would say Jon Moxley will win this one. If for no other reason than it was just put together because they couldn't get the proper match that they wanted.
So if you have been keeping track of Artie and I's predictions, I believe the only one that we're different on is the buy-in so far.
Yeah.
So, we're both CM Punk, we're both Paul White, we're both Jon Moxley, but you're best friends in Jurassic Express, and I'm the HFO.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dive into the 21 Women's Casino Battle Royal, which I think will open up the show. I just wanted to get the singles matches out of the way. Now, we have 2 mystery names and 19 other names. Let me go over those names. Abaddon versus Anna Jay versus Big Swole versus Diamante versus Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida versus Jade Cargill versus Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart versus Kiera Hogan versus Kai Lin King versus Layla Hirsch. Don't forget, she's legit. Versus Nyla Rose versus Penelope Ford versus Rebel, not Reba, versus Red Velvet versus Tay Conte versus The Bunny versus Thunder Rosa, and of course those 2 mystery names. And that is what has everybody talking, the 2 mystery names. So, I'm going to give you 3 picks. Now, I'm going to start off, and it's either one of the mystery names that are winning that Battle Royal, or, in my opinion, it's either Jade Cargill or Thunder Rosa.
I was going to say Thunder Rosa is one of mine as well. Also a mystery name.
Mm.
I would say less likely to be a mystery name than
depends on who
one
it is.
Yeah, I suppose it would depend on who it is. But I was going to say also potentially Red Velvet.
Red Velvet?
Yeah.
You think she's going to go against Britt Baker again?
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. We have some names that could easily go against Britt Baker, and that's Thunder Rosa is one of them. And this is where the Casino Royale really comes into play and can actually, and I was talking to you about this earlier, was it can bring somebody from 0 wins to an immediate title shot because they won an opportunity from a stipulation from a match, right? Similar to like Money in the Bank or Royal Rumble or something. You don't have to have the most wins. You just have to win that stipulation. Yeah. Which works here. This is where that works. This is where it's like, well, the top 5 have already lost against the champion, or top 3 or whatever. What do we do now, right? Well, this is what you do. This is where this comes into play. So this is where I think Jade Cargill is going to have her shot against Britt Baker. The only thing is, I can see Jade Cargill winning, but I can't see her winning the championship just yet. Eventually, absolutely, Jade Cargill is going to be dominating the women's division.
Oh yeah,
but I can't see her getting the championship off of Britt Baker. And when is this championship match too? We actually don't know when it's going to be. Is it going to be on Rampage? Is it going to be on Dynamite? Is it going to be at Full Gear in 2 months' time? Like,
imagine if it was Rebel.
She'd just lay over. She'd just roll over. But that would be funny. That would be hilarious. But the 2 mystery names. Now, I was going to ask you about this one of these questions at the end of the show, but since we're on the women's discussion, let's do it now. Does Ruby Soho, aka Ruby Riott from WWE, make her debut as one of the mystery names?
I certainly hope so.
Or, since it's 2 mystery names, is it the former Iconics?
Oh. Yeah, actually, I completely forgot about that.
There's 2 mystery names, not just one. Yeah. There's 2. And 2, they come in pairs, right? Yeah, it's like people come in pairs, right? So, or a pair. People come in a pair. That's weird. English is weird. I started thinking of pears, and then I thought of the fruit. Sorry. Anyway. That's something random just to talk about. Pears and pears. But yeah, does the Iconics show? Does Ruby Soho make her? And if Ruby Soho comes in, who's the other mystery name?
That just makes me think more and more it's going to be the former Iconics. Because like, I'm not super well versed in who is out of their contract or who is ready to or being scouted or whatever. But, those are the only 3 names that I know of that are more likely, and if it's 2, they're not going to have just one of the Iconics.
Nope. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there and what name they're. I can't remember the new name they're going by, but I think it's something to do with an eye, and they had the 2 eyes in the front of it again. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but yeah. So those are our points. So you have Thunder Rosa as well.
Thunder Rosa, Red Velvet, and my 3rd pick would be the mystery name.
The mystery name, whoever that is. And yeah, I have Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, and whoever that mystery name is. But again, yeah, even if Jade Cargill wins, I just can't see her. You know what, though? If she does win it, though, I can see her losing to Britt Baker cheating. Because going into that match, I'm pretty sure Jade Cargill would be the face. There's no way you're changing Britt Baker's face right now. Even though the audience loves her, she's too good as a heel. Yeah. She's just too damn good as a heel. Jade Cargill could go in there as the neutral face. Lose to shenanigans because it's Britt Baker, because Rebel and all that stuff. And then that feud could continue into Full Gear. And then I could very well see Jade Cargill taking it from Britt Baker in 2 months. I could see that. So, maybe. Who knows? All right. Well, now we're diving into the championship match of the section. So, if you've jumped to this point of the section, welcome back. But we're going to start with the Steel Cage match. AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. Who do you got?
I'm going to say I was originally going to say the Young Bucks. Just because the whole elite and shenanigans and all that. But Steel Cage. At the same time, I don't doubt that Brandon Cutler is going to spray the cold spray through the cage at someone's face or something, I think I'm going to go with the Young Bucks. I want the Lucha Brothers to win, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Young Bucks.
I'm picking the Young Bucks here as well. But getting back to what we were talking about earlier and people getting the crap beat out of them the night or the Go Home show. The interesting thing is here now. The Go Home show is no longer Dynamite. The Go Home show is Rampage.
Yeah.
So this was the Go Home show to Dynamite, and yes, the Lucha Brothers, Jurassic Express, everybody and Christian Cage got the absolute crap beat out of them. to close Dynamite, to make them look dominant.
Yeah.
So the team that's facing for the title has got the shit beat out of them. Usually they would win, but but I can't see the Young Bucks losing. I just can't see them losing this championship run. Again, I can see them losing it in 2 months' time at Full Gear, but I can't see them losing it now. Even to the Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers are going to capture those titles. I mean, for the record, if the Lucha Brothers win, I am not going to be upset. They deserve those titles. I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up, but it won't surprise me if Penta or Ray does some sort of Canadian destroyer off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds insane, but it's the Lucha Brothers. It's Ray Phoenix. If anybody defies gravity, it's him. So... Yeah, so this is where it really gets interesting. So things might end up differently on Rampage. Maybe the Lucha Brothers will get their comeuppance, their revenge on Friday, and then the Young Bucks win on Sunday. But there's just, I don't know. Hell, does Adam Cole come in? Does Adam Cole help the Young Bucks win? Does somehow he run down because he's with the Elite, right? He's been there forever. So
is the steel cage no rule, no disqualification, or is there still?
Oh no, the steel cage is win by pinfall or submission, no disqualifications.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So it's like they could literally have the Good Brothers hiding underneath the ring. The cage comes down and the Good Brothers pop out. It's technically not illegal, and it's not something that we wouldn't think the Elite wouldn't do.
They could, yeah. They could have people hiding under the ring. That is very, very, very true. All right. Well, we're both going with the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
All right. AEW Women's World Championship. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, don't you forget it, versus the alien Chris Statlander. Now, again, back to where I sound like a broken record on this podcast. I swear to God. But does Chris Statlander beat Britt Baker? I want her to beat Britt Baker, but again, I don't want her to beat Britt Baker until Full Gear. I want Chris Statlander to totally be the champion, but I don't want her to be the champion just yet because Britt Baker just got it. So, and again, I'm saying, what if Jade Cargill beats Britt Baker for her? What if Chris Statlander beats, at Full Gear? But my point is, I just want Britt Baker to be dominant for a while, to have that championship, because she's excellent with it. She's been amazing with it. So I can't see Chris Statlander winning here. But again, if Chris Statlander won, I wouldn't be upset. And I think it would be awesome for Chris Statlander to win. I love Britt Baker. I really do. But I think Chris Statlander winning would be awesome. What about you?
I also want Chris Statlander to have the championship. She's definitely deserving of it. I just don't think it's going to happen right now. I think Britt Baker is going to win. Probably by shenanigans, because Britt Baker. But I agree, Chris Statlander is going to have the title, down the line, whether that's a month or a few months or however long, she'll have it relatively soon.
Yeah, I feel the feud is just, they haven't been really personal. Or maybe this is just, Chris Statlander will face Britt Baker again, in a few weeks or something. I don't know. But yeah, it just, I mean, they just had their 100th episode of Dynamite. That would have been something special. But that was also the go home show for All Out, which is kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, so we're both going with Britt Baker?
Yeah.
All right. Now, with 2 matches left on the card and a few questions to ask at the end, AEW TNT Championship, God's favorite champion, Miro versus Eddie Kingston. Who do you got and why? And we're 1, 2, 3, Miro. If it's gonna be Miro.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good match though. Eddie Kingston versus Miro is gonna be one hell of a match.
If anyone's gonna take Miro the distance, it's gonna be Eddie Kingston. It's gonna be a absolutely brutal match, I think.
Yeah. Now, there's a few things, and one of those questions that was gonna come up at the end of the show, which is kind of near now. who does Miro face after Eddie Kingston now, or who takes the TNT Championship away from Miro? Now, after Eddie Kingston loses, which I believe he will somebody come out and confront him? Will it be Bryan Danielson right there? Will it be Adam Cole to confront Miro? And I also said last night, and I said to you that I'm going to be selling this to everybody. The person, again, back to Full Gear, that I want to see. The person I want to see Miro lose the title to, whether it be on Dynamite. I mean, personally, I think title changes with the TNT Championship should probably change on TNT. Just, you know. But I want Brian Cage to beat Miro. I want it. I want Brian Cage to move on from the whole Team Taz feud event, you know, very soon. Move into a feud with Miro. Miro's the dominating heel. Brian Cage just turned face. He's also big, dominating. I think those two massive dudes, a lot of good meat slap in that match. Get a lot of eyes on the product. A lot of good men fighting over a championship. Yes. Oh, yeah. You'll hear that in the background. If those two face each other. But I mean, would you want Bryan Danielson to confront Miro?
I don't know if I would put Bryan Danielson up against Miro. I don't know who I would. I mean,
he may not even show up at all.
He may not even show up, but I don't know. I think there are other things that maybe would fit Bryan Danielson more in the company.
Well, while we're on that topic, the other question I was going to ask you at the end of the show, and it comes up pretty much now because I segue into it, is does Bryan Danielson face Andrade? Does Andrade get a replacement match? And does he fill in Pac's spot?
Speaking of fitting somewhere's better, I think that's a much better fit.
Yeah. So, I mean, Andrade comes out. Is Ric Flair going to be with him? Probably, because of what happened in AAA. And Ric Flair will be in 4 different wrestling promotions in 2021. Bet you nobody had that on their bingo card. But Ric Flair comes out with Andrade, manager. They talk a bunch of smack. They say nobody's, Andrade wasted time, all this stuff, talk a bunch of smack. And then Bryan Danielson comes down and they have a little scrap for about 5 minutes or so. And that continues on until Pac can come. Because Pac versus Andrade is going to happen in a feature episode of Rampage. That's what we know. So, yeah, that could be a great place for Bryan Danielson and Ric Flair to make their debut in AEW. So, who knows? But getting to the final match of the hour and the final match of the All Out card, and that is the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus the newly crowned Impact World Championship, Christian Cage. So all of the talks that we've had about Kenny Omega being the belt collector, about going around collecting all the belts, the IWGP, this and that, have fallen apart. Christian Cage is now the Impact Championship. Although we have 2 AEW guys being... I think it's funny that AEW has 3 different promotions world titles. Doesn't matter if Kenny Omega has them or not. It's the fact that the AAA Mega title, the Impact World title, and the AEW title are all in one place. Poor Impact, poor AAA. Really though, like the belt doesn't get enough attention. The AAA Mega title. But anyway, who do you got? Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage.
I'm gonna say Kenny Omega because I don't think they're gonna make Christian Cage a double champion. I think it's gonna be a good match. But I do not think that Christian Cage will be a double champion. At least not at the moment. I don't know. I could be way off. They could be like, oh, Christian Cage, you're back. We're so happy to see you. Have 2 championships. It could go that way. But I don't think Kenny Omega is going to lose another title that quickly.
No, I don't believe so either. This is where everybody in their hootenanny comes in from the Bullet Club and everything comes in and saves, or not even Kenny Omega, the Elite. I don't know, because the Bullet Club doesn't recognize the Bullet Club, so
and it doesn't even have to be help. All they have to do is like storm the ring and cause a disqualification, and Kenny Omega keeps his title.
Yeah, exactly. Kenny Omega's going to do it.
Carry it on to another thing.
He's going to do whatever he can. But I want Christian Cage to move on so that he can focus on Impact, because Impact needs to be represented with its World Championship. And at some point, Impact has to have an Impact champion. They just do. They have to have that championship on an Impact star. And I don't even know Christian Cage's deal with AEW. I don't even know if he's signed fully with AEW or if he's just going back and forth with things. I don't know. So it all depends on what, like, he could technically not be all Elite. He could just be, I'm working with you for a month and a half, I'm working with Impact for a month and a half, and I'm working with this in a month and a half, and all that. Who knows what's on the contract. But yeah, Kenny Omega is not losing that championship. And to sound like that old broken record once again, if Kenny Omega is going to lose his championship, it's definitely not going to be against Kota Ibushi now, because the whole IWGP thing has been thrown out the window. But I think that's when Adam Page's slogan is Full Gear. And I think we've said this: if the Adam Page wouldn't win, he'll win later. And he did take some time off to go help take care of his family for a little bit. So I think him coming back and beating Kenny Omega in November will be the feel good moment that everybody wants.
I agree. I don't know the timings of how all that's going to go down, but I do think that Kenny will lose the AAA title before he would lose the AEW title.
That was another thing too. Speaking of the AAA title, once again, is the AAA title, the AAA Mega title, was defended a couple of weeks ago against Andrade on AAA wrestling, on AAA television. But Andrade is all Elite. Yeah. So again, two AEW guys going for another promotion championship, and then two AEW guys going for another. Like, this is where I as a promotion, I would be like, all right, I love you, AEW. I love what we've done together, but we have to have our belts back.
I mean, it could be good for them. I'm sure they're getting a lot more eyes on their product.
Impact actually isn't. Not too much. They haven't really gained too much. In the beginning they did. But they've dropped at certain times really bad. So, not really bad, but they haven't really, the boost they got didn't stick around, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, though, that is predictions for our AEW All Out 2021. So we will wrap things up there. Thanks to everyone who continues to listen to the podcast. And if you want to hear your voice on here, if you want to rant about any wrestling promotion, or hop on here and help us predict wrestling, anything you want, simply send me a PM on any of my social media. You can find all of our socials at SoundCloud under Lotus Moon Productions, Facebook under Lotus Moon Productions, Twitter under Lotus Moon Prod, Lotus M Productions on Instagram for the independent music side of things, and you can search us on YouTube under Lotus Moon Productions. With that, this has been LMP Wrestling, and we are signing off.